The red dust of Kepler 442b swirled around Dr. Kim Tae-woo's boots as he walked toward the crash site. His scanner beeped quietly in the morning air. The metal wreckage stretched across the rocky ground like a broken metal snake. Steam still rose from the twisted pieces of what had once been a sleek alien vessel. "Another one," muttered Engineer Park Min-ho, kicking at a chunk of strange purple metal. "That's the 5th crash this month. What's bringing them all down?" Tae-woo adjusted his breathing mask and stepped carefully around the debris. As the colony's xenobiologist, he had seen many alien crashes over the years. Most were simple accidents. Ships broke down, pilots made mistakes, or solar storms knocked vessels out of space. But this crash felt different somehow. "It's the energy. Readings are strange," he said, checking his scanner again. "There's something unusual about this wreckage." Captain Lee Dehai's voice crackled through his comm unit. "Tae-woo, what's your status? The morning shift needs to get back to the mines." "Give me 10 more minutes," he replied. "Want to check the main cabin section." The largest piece of wreckage sat in a small crater about 50 meters away. Tae-woo walked toward it slowly, his scanner beeping faster with each step. The metal was covered in symbols he didn't recognize. It looked like claw marks, but too precise to be random scratches. As he got closer, he heard something that made him stop. A soft whimpering sound came from inside the wreckage. It sounded like a hurt animal. "Min-ho," he called. "Come here. Do you hear that?" The engineer jogged over, his tool belt jangling. "Hear what?" The sound came again. Definitely some kind of crying or whimpering. It was weak but persistent. "There's something alive in there," Tae-woo said. Min-ho frowned. "Are you sure?" "Most aliens don't survive crashes like this." Tae-woo pulled out his portable light and shined it through a crack in the hull. The beam revealed a small space inside, filled with what looked like soft padding material. And there in the center was something that made his heart skip. It was small, about the size of a human baby, but covered in dark fur. It had 6 tiny limbs that moved weakly. Its head was larger than a human infant's, with closed eyes and small pointed ears. Most striking were the tiny claws on each of its 6 hands. "Oh no," Min-ho whispered. "Tae-woo, we need to leave." "Right. Now why?" "It's just a baby. Look at the claws. Look at the body shape. That's a Vorthok cub." Tae-woo felt his blood turn cold. Every person in the galaxy knew about the Vorthok. They were the apex predators of space. Massive, intelligent, and completely ruthless. They had destroyed entire civilizations. Even grown adults of other species would run in terror from a single Vorthok. But this one was so small, so helpless it's dying, Tae-woo said quietly. "Good." Min-ho replied. "Do you know what that thing will become when it grows up? It'll be able to tear apart a battle cruiser with its bare hands. Its species has killed billions." The cub made another weak sound. Tae-woo could see it was barely breathing. "It's just a baby," he said again. "A baby monster." Tae-woo's comm unit crackled. "What's taking so long?" Captain Lee's voice was impatient.
"Captain."
"We found something. A survivor from the crash?" "Survivor? What species?" Tae-woo looked at Min-ho, who was shaking his head frantically. It's a Vorthok cub." The silence on the comm lasted for nearly 10 seconds. "Say that again," the captain said slowly. "A Vorthok cub. It's injured and alone."
"Sure."
"You insane? Get away from that thing immediately." "That's an order, Captain. It's just a baby. It's going to die if we don't help it." "Good. Do you have any idea what you're suggesting?" "We cannot have a Vorthok on this colony. It's not even a baby one." Min-ho grabbed Tae-woo's arm. "She's right. We need to go now." But Tae-woo couldn't move. The cub's breathing was getting weaker. In a few hours, maybe less, it would be dead. He thought about his own daughter back on Earth. How would he feel if she was alone and dying, and people just walked away? "Sir," came another voice on the comm. Communications Officer Yoon Jae-sung sounded nervous. "I'm picking up some interesting signals from the crash site. It looks like other ships have been here." "What kind of ships?" Captain Lee asked. "Xanthari vessels were here 2 days ago. Makari Federation ships yesterday. And it looks like a crystalline collective scout ship was here this morning. They all left, Tae-woo asked. Yes, sir. All of them detected the crash, landed, and then left within hours. No rescue attempts. Captain Lee's voice was grim. They knew what was in that wreckage. They left it to die. Even its own species, Tae-woo asked. Check the long-range sensors, the captain ordered. After a few minutes, Jae-sung came back on the comm. Sir, there are Vorthok ships about 3 light-years away. They're moving in the opposite direction. They abandoned it too, Minho said with amazement. Even the Vorthok don't want it. Tae-woo looked down at the dying cub. Every species in the galaxy had found this crash. Every species had discovered the baby. And every single one had chosen to leave it to die alone. Why? He asked. Why would they abandon their own young? Because they're monsters, Minho said. They probably don't even care about their babies. Something about that didn't feel right to Tae-woo. He had studied many species over the years. Almost all of them protected their young. Even the most aggressive predators usually cared for their babies. There has to be more to this, he said. Tae-woo, get back to the colony. Now, Captain Lee's voice was final. We're sealing off this crash site. The cub made another weak sound. Its breathing was definitely getting worse. Tae-woo estimated it had maybe an hour left. Captain, I want to save it. Absolutely not. It's going to die anyway. What harm could it do? What harm? It's a Vorthok. When it grows up, it could destroy our entire colony. If it grows up, right now it's just a baby that needs help. Minho was pulling at his arm now. Come on, Tae-woo, don't be stupid, let's go. Tae-woo couldn't stop looking at the cub. Something about the situation bothered him deeply. Every species in the galaxy had the same reaction. Fear, disgust, abandonment. Not one had shown even a moment of compassion. That seemed wrong somehow. Even if the adult Vorthok were terrible, this was still a baby. A baby that had done nothing wrong except be born. Except be born, I'm taking it back to the colony, he said firmly. You are not, Captain Lee replied. That's an order, and I'm resigning from the colony. The comm went quiet. Minho stared at him in shock. You can't be serious, Minho said. I won't leave a baby to die. I don't care what species it is. After a long pause, Captain Lee's voice came back. You're really willing to risk everything for that thing? Yes. Another long pause. Then, bring it back. But it's your responsibility. If that creature causes any problems, it's on you. Understood. Minho shook his head. You're going to get us all killed. Maybe. But I'm not going to let a baby die. When I could save it, Tae-woo began carefully removing pieces of wreckage to reach the cub. As he worked, he wondered what he was getting himself into, but he knew he couldn't walk away. Not from something so small and helpless. The galaxy had abandoned this creature. But the humans would not. Dr. Choi Soo-jin looked at the small creature lying on the medical table and shook her head. Tae-woo, this is madness. I'm a doctor, not a miracle worker. The Vorthok cub was even smaller than it had looked in the wreckage. Its dark fur was matted and dirty. Its 6 tiny limbs moved weakly, and its breathing was shallow. The little claws on each hand were no bigger than human fingernails. Can you save it? Tae-woo asked. I don't even know how its body works. I've never seen Vorthok anatomy. Nobody has detailed medical information about their species. Just do your best. Soo-jin sighed and began her examination. The cub's skin was hot to the touch, suggesting a fever. Its heartbeat was rapid but weak. When she tried to lift one of its arms, the creature made a small whimpering sound. It's definitely dehydrated, she said. Probably starving. I can set up a basic nutrient drip, but I don't know what it's supposed to eat. Park Min-ho stood in the corner, looking uncomfortable. Why are we even trying? This thing is going to grow up and kill us all. It's a baby, Tae-woo said firmly. We're not giving up on it. Captain Lee Dae-hai entered the medical bay with Communications Officer Yoon Jae-soon close behind. Both looked worried. How is it? The captain asked. Alive barely, Soo-jin replied. I've got it on life support, but I don't know how long that will work. We need to talk, Captain Lee said. Jae-sung, tell them what you found. The young communications officer looked nervous. I've been monitoring galactic channels. We're just spreading about what we're doing. The reaction is ... not good. What kind of reaction? Taewoo asked. The Zenthari ambassador called us dangerously insane. The Makari Federation is demanding we destroy the creature immediately. The Crystalline Collective won't even talk to us anymore. The Galactic Council? Captain Lee asked. They're sending a formal warning. They want the Vorthok destroyed within 48 hours, or they'll consider military action. Minho threw his hands up. See? I told you this was a bad idea. Military action. Taewoo couldn't believe it. Over a baby? It's not just any baby, Jae-sung said. I've been researching Vorthok history. They've destroyed over 30 civilizations, billions of deaths. Some species went extinct because of them. That's the... Adults, Taewoo said. This one hasn't hurt anyone. Yet Minho muttered. Captain Lee looked at the cub on the medical table. Taewoo, I supported your decision to save it. But we need to think about the whole colony. If the Galactic Council sends warships ... they won't, Taewoo said. They're just scared. Maybe they should be, Sujin said quietly. I've been running scans on the cub. Its muscle density is already 3 times higher than a human baby's. Its bone structure is incredibly strong. And these claws, she pointed to the tiny hands. They're made of the same material as starship hull plating. It's still just a baby, Taewoo insisted. A baby that could probably cut through steel when it gets older, Minho said. The cub suddenly made a louder sound, almost like a growl. Everyone took a step back except Taewoo. It's probably just hungry, he said, moving closer to the table. Don't touch it, Sujin warned. We don't know how it might react. But Taewoo gently placed his hand near the cub's head. The creature's eyes opened for the first time. They were deep blue, almost black, and seemed to look right at him. Hello there, Taewoo said softly. You're safe now. The cub made another sound, softer this time. It tried to lift one of its hands toward Taewoo's. It's responding to you, Sujin said with amazement. Maybe it recognizes voices, Taewoo suggested. Jae-sung's cum unit suddenly started beeping rapidly. Captain, I'm getting multiple incoming signals. Long-range sensors show ships approaching. What kind of ships? Captain Lee asked. Zenthari. Battle cruisers, 3 of them. How long until they arrive? 6 hours. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the small cub on the medical table.
Ow!
They're coming to make sure we destroy it, Minho said. Or to destroy us all, Jae-sung added. Captain Lee rubbed her forehead. Options. We could evacuate the colony, Sujin suggested. Go where? No one will take us in if we're carrying a Vorthok. We could hide it, Taewoo said. Hide it where? We'll scan every building. Minho stepped forward. Or we could just, end this now, before anyone gets hurt. No, Taewoo said firmly. We're not killing a baby. Then what do you suggest? Captain Lee asked. Taewoo looked down at the cub. Its blue eyes were still watching him. We take care of it. We show them that it's not a monster. In 6 hours? Minho laughed bitterly. How are we supposed to prove anything in 6 hours? We start by giving it a name, Taewoo said. And we treat it like any other baby. A name, Sujin asked. What, Hanyul? It means sky in Korean, like the blue sky of Earth. The cub made another soft sound when it heard the name. It likes it, Taewoo said with a small smile. Or it's getting ready to eat your face, Minho said. Help me set up a proper nursery, Taewoo said, ignoring Minho's comment. Sujin, can you figure out what it needs to eat? I'll try. But Taewoo, even if we can keep it alive, what happens? When it grows up, adult Vorthok are 15 feet tall and weigh over a ton. We'll figure that out later. Right now, we just need to help it survive. Over the next few hours, the team worked to create a space for Hanyul. Minho built a small habitat with soft materials and proper temperature control. Sujin experimented with different nutrient solutions until she found one that Hanyul would drink. But the cub remained weak and frightened. It would only calm down when Taewoo was nearby. It's bonding with you, Sujin observed. Like a baby. Bird with its mother. That's dangerous, Jae-sung said. What if it becomes too attached? What if it doesn't? Taewoo replied. What if that's exactly what it needs? As the Zenthari ships got closer, the team received more threatening messages. The Mokari Federation was sending their own ships. The Crystalline Collective was mobilizing their defense fleet. The whole galaxy is preparing for war, Jae-soon reported. All because of one baby. Not because of the baby, Taewoo corrected. Because of fear. Captain Lee looked out the window at the approaching ships on the horizon. Fear might be the right response. Maybe, Taewoo said, gently feeding Hanyul with a small bottle. But I don't think so. Why not? 'Cause look at him. He's not a monster. He's just scared and alone. His parents were monsters, Minho said. His whole species are monsters. Were they born that way? Taewoo asked. Or did they become that way? Does it matter? It might. If we can raise him differently, ... You want to reprogram of Orthok? Sujin asked. I want to give him a chance. The same chance we'd give any other baby. The Zenthari ships were now visible in the sky. Soon, the colony would be surrounded. They're going to demand we turn him over, Captain Lee said. And we'll have to convince them not to, Taewoo replied. How? Taewoo looked down at Hanyul, who was finally sleeping peacefully. By showing them that sometimes the right choice isn't the safe choice, and if they don't listen, then we'll have to make a stand. The ships were getting closer. Soon everything would change. But for now in the quiet medical bay, Human was caring for a baby that the rest of the galaxy had abandoned. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. 6 months had passed since the Zenthari ships had left. It arrived expecting to find a dangerous monster, but instead found a small creature that barely reached Dr. Kim Tae-woo's knee. The Zenthari commander had been so confused by what he saw that he left without taking any action. Now, Hanyul was much bigger. He stood almost 4 feet tall, and his 6 limbs had grown strong and coordinated. His dark fur had become thick and shiny. His blue eyes were bright and alert. Most importantly, he had learned to communicate, Dr. Song Heron. The colony's linguist sat cross-legged on the floor of Hanyul's habitat. She held up a picture of a water container. Water, she said slowly, both speaking and making hand signs. Hanyul's head tilted slightly. Then, in a voice that was deeper than a human child's, but still clearly young, he said, Water. Very good, Heron said with a smile. Now can you ask for water? Hanyul made several hand signs and said, Want water, please? Excellent. Your progress is amazing. Taewoo watched from the observation window, feeling proud. Hanyul had learned to speak basic Korean faster than most human children. But more than that, he had learned manners, kindness, and respect. He's getting big, said mining foreman Nam Ji-hoon, joining Taewoo at the window. How big do you think he'll get? Adult Vorthok are usually about 15 feet tall. Taewoo replied he might reach that size in another year or 2. And you're not worried about what? About having a 15-foot-tall apex predator living in our colony? Taewoo looked at Hanyul, who was gently playing with a puzzle toy. Look at him, Ji-hoon. Does he look like a monster to you? He looks like a baby monster. He looks like a child who's been loved. Nam Ji-hoon wasn't entirely convinced, but he had to admit that Hanyul seemed harmless enough. The young Vorthok helped with simple tasks around the colony, was polite too. Everyone, and had never shown any aggressive behavior. The other species still don't trust us, Ji-hoon said. Trade has been difficult. They'll come around, Taewoo said. When they see what Hanyul really is. And what's that? A person? Just like us? In the habitat, Heron was teaching Hanyul about emotions. When you feel happy, you smile. When you feel sad, you might cry. What do you feel when you see Taewoo? Angelus. Eyes brightened. Happy. Safe. Love. And when you think about hurting someone, Hanyul's expression became serious. Bad. Wrong. No hurt, friends. Good. Very good. Suddenly, alarms began blaring throughout the colony. Taewoo's cum unit crackled to life. All personnel to emergency stations, Captain Lee Dahai announced. We have incoming hostile ships. What kind of ships? Taewoo asked into his cum. Pirate. Raiders. 3 vessels, heavily armed. They'll be here in 20 minutes. Nam Gian cursed under his breath. Pirates. They probably heard about our reduced trade status and think we're easy targets. Get Hanyul to the secure bunker. Tae-woo, ordered Haerin. I'm scared, Hanyul said, sensing the tension in the room. It's okay, Haerin said soothingly. We just need to go to a safe place. But as they headed toward the bunker, the first pirate ship landed near the colony's main entrance. Armed figures in battle armor began pouring out, firing energy weapons at the colony's defenders. Move faster, Tae-woo urged, but Hanyul had stopped walking. Friends hurt, Hanyul said, his voice deeper than usual. Yes, but we need to get you. To safety? No, help friends. Hanyul, you're still young. You can't fight. But Hanyul was already moving toward the sound of battle. His 6 limbs carried him with surprising speed and grace. Despite his size, he moved almost silently. Stop him, Tae-woo called to the security guards. But they were too busy fighting the pirates to respond. Hanyul reached the main entrance area. Just as a group of pirates broke through the colony's first line of defense, the security team was falling back, overwhelmed by superior numbers and weapons. One of the pirates, a large alien with 4 arms and battle scars, pointed his weapon. An engineer, Park Min-ho, who was trapped behind an overturned table. Surrender now or die, the pirate leader growled. Min-ho raised his hands, clearly terrified. That was when Hanyul appeared. The young Vorthok moved faster than anyone had ever seen him move. One moment he was behind the pirates, the next he was. In front of them, his 6 arms moved in perfect coordination, disarming 3 pirates before they could react. The pirate leader spun around, raising his weapon toward Hanyul. But Hanyul was already moving. His claws, now grown to the size of kitchen knives, sliced through the weapon's barrel like paper. What are you? The pirate leader demanded. Friend, Hanyul said simply. You hurt friends? That wrong? The pirate leader pulled out a backup weapon, but Hanyul was too fast. In a movement that was both graceful and terrifying, he knocked the weapon away and lifted the pirate off the ground with 4 of his arms. You go now, Hanyul said firmly. No hurt, friends. You're a Warthog, the pirate stammered. Yes, and these my family. The pirate leader's eyes went wide with fear. Every criminal in the galaxy knew about the Vorthog. They were the ultimate predators, the stuff of nightmares. Please don't kill me, the pirate begged. No kill. Just go. Hanyul gently set the pirate down and pointed toward the exit. Go tell others. This place protected. The pirate leader didn't need to be told twice. He ran toward his ship, calling for his crew to retreat. But we haven't looted anything yet, one of the other pirates protested. There's a Vorthog here, the leader screamed. A living Vorthog. We leave now, or we die. Within minutes, all 3 pirate ships had lifted off and disappeared into space. The colony defenders stared at Hanyul in amazement. They had just watched a creature they had known as a gentle child turn into a formidable protector. Hanyul, Tae-woo said, approaching carefully. Are you okay? Yes, friend safe. Yes, we're all safe. Thanks to you. Hanyul looked confused. My pirates scared. I not hurt them? You were scared because you're Vorthog, Min-ho explained. Your species has a reputation. Bad reputation? Very bad. But you're different. Different? Tae-woo put his hand on Hanyul's arm. You used your strength to protect, not to destroy. That's what makes you special. All Vorthog not like me? We don't think so. But maybe they could be, if they were raised like you were. Nam Gi-hun approached the group, looking thoughtful. The pirates will spread word about what happened here, that a Vorthog is protecting. This colony? Is that good or bad? Haerin asked. Probably both, Captain Lee said, joining them. It might keep other criminals away, but it could also attract attention we don't want. What kind of attention? Tae-woo asked. The kind that comes from people who think the only good Vorthog is a dead Vorthog. But they saw what he did, Min-ho said. He protected us. He showed mercy. Some people won't care, the captain replied. They'll just see a dangerous predator that needs to be eliminated. Hanyul listened to this conversation with growing concern. People want hurt me because I Vorthog. Some people might, Tae-woo said honestly, but we won't let them. Why people hate Vorthog? because other Vorthok have done terrible things. In the past, I do terrible things. No, you've done wonderful things. You saved our lives today. Then why people still hate? Taewoo struggled to find the right words. Sometimes people are afraid of what might happen, even when good things are happening. That not fair? No, it's not fair. But that's how the world works sometimes. Hanyul looked sad. I try be good. Always try be good. We know, Heron said gently, and we love you for it. But other people not know? Not yet. But maybe someday they will. Communications officer Yoon Jae-soon came running up to the group. Captain, we're getting reports from across the sector. The pirates are telling everyone about what happened here. What are they saying? Captain Lee asked. That there's a Vorthok protecting a human colony? That it's not like the others? The story is spreading fast. How are people reacting? Mixed responses. Some are curious. Others are terrified. Some are angry. Angry at us. Angry at the idea that we're corrupting a Vorthok, making it soft. Taewoo felt a chill. Does that mean? It means, Captain Lee said grimly, that our real troubles are just beginning. But as he looked at Hanyul, who was helping to repair the damage from the pirate attack, Taewoo felt hope instead of fear. The young Vorthok had shown today that he could be both powerful and gentle, strong and kind. Maybe that was exactly what the galaxy needed to see. Hanyul was almost fully grown now. At 13 feet tall, he towered over the humans who had raised him. His 6 powerful arms could lift heavy mining equipment with ease. His claws could cut through steel like butter. But his eyes still held the same gentle intelligence they had when he was a cub. Dr. Lim Hyun-woo, the colony's newest researcher, studied the energy readings from his scanner with growing excitement. Taewoo, you need to see this. What is it? Dr. Kim Taewoo asked, looking up from his daily lesson with Hanyul. These energy patterns around Hanyul. They're unlike anything I've ever seen from other Vorthok data. Different how? The energy field is completely opposite. Most Vorthok emit what we call rage particles, energy that makes other beings feel angry and aggressive. But Hanyul emits something else entirely. What kind of something else? Calm particles, peace energy. When he's around, people feel more relaxed, more cooperative. Taewoo looked at Hanyul, who was carefully arranging some books on a shelf. That would explain why everyone feels comfortable around him. It's more than that, Hyun-woo said. Think the crash that brought him here didn't just damage his ship. It changed him somehow? Changed him how? Remember those strange energy readings from the wreckage? I think they cleansed him of whatever makes other Vorthok so aggressive. Hanyul approached them, moving carefully to avoid knocking anything over with his large frame. What you talking about? We're trying to understand why you're different from other Vorthok, Taewoo explained. I'm different because you raised me different, Hanyul said simply. It might be more than that, Hyun-woo said. Hanyul, do you ever have dreams about other Vorthok? Yes, sometimes. What kind of dreams? Old. Hanyul's expression grew thoughtful. Old dreams. Not my dreams. Dreams from long ago. Can you tell us about them? Hanyul sat down carefully on the reinforced chair they had built for him. In dreams, Vorthok not always angry. Long time ago we different. We protect others, not hurt them? Protect others? Taewoo asked with surprise. Yes, we guardians. We help small people, weak people, keep them safe from bad things. Hyun-woo and Taewoo exchanged glances. What happened to change that? Hyun-woo asked. Big darkness come, make Vorthok sick in head, make us angry all time, make us forget who we really are. What kind of darkness not know? It's very old, very bad. It hurt our minds, make us think only about fighting and killing. But you're not affected by this darkness? Hanyul touched his chest. Crash made darkness go away. I remember what Vorthok's supposed to be. Suddenly alarms began ringing throughout the colony. Communications officer Yoon Jae-sung's voice came over the speakers. All personnel, we have incoming Vorthok ships, multiple vessels approaching fast. Taewoo felt his blood run cold. How many ships? 6 hunting vessels? They'll be here in 30 minutes. They're coming for me, Hanyul said quietly. We won't let them take you, Taewoo promised. They not take me. They come to kill me. Why would they want to kill you? Because I'm different. But because I'm not sick like them. They feel my energy. And it make them remember things they not want to remember. Captain Lee Dehai entered the room quickly. Haniel, we need to get you to the secure bunker. No, Haniel said firmly. Running not help. They find me anyway. Then what do you suggest? Why, talk to them. Try to help them remember. That's too dangerous, Tae-woo said. If they're here to kill you, ... then they kill me. But maybe I help one of them remember who we supposed to be. I won't let you sacrifice yourself. Haniel looked at Tae-woo with affection. You save me. When I baby, you give me love, teach me right from wrong. Now maybe I save others the same way. The Vorthok ships landed in a circle around the colony. Each ship was massive, built for war and hunting. The ground shook as the adult Vorthok emerged. They were terrifying to behold. Each one stood over 15 feet tall, their bodies covered in scars from countless battles. Their claws were stained with the blood of their victims. Their eyes glowed with an angry red light. But the largest Vorthok, clearly the pack leader, was different. He was older than the others, with silver streaks. In his dark fur, his eyes held not just anger, but deep sadness. Where is the corrupted one? The pack leader demanded, his voice echoing across the colony. Haniel stepped out from behind the buildings, walking slowly toward the pack. The humans followed at a distance, weapons ready but knowing they would be useless against such creatures. Am here, Haniel said calmly. The pack leader studied him carefully. You are not as we are. No, I am as we should be. You speak lies. We are hunters. We are killers. That is our nature. That is our sickness, Haniel replied. Not our nature. The pack leader's red eyes flashed with anger. You dare call us sick? I call us lost? We forgot who we really are. Young one, we are guardians. We are protectors. We keep the small ones safe from harm. Several of the pack members growled at these words, but the pack leader held up a hand for silence. Those are old stories. Children's tales, they are memories, Haniel said. Drew memories from before the darkness came. What do you know of? Darkness. I know that it was removed from me. I know that without it, I can think clearly. I can feel love instead of hate. I can choose to protect instead of destroy. The pack leader stepped closer. Show me these memories. You must open your mind to mine. That is dangerous. Your corruption might spread. My healing might spread, Haniel corrected. The pack leader hesitated. Around him, his pack members waited for orders. Some looked eager to attack. Others seemed curious about what Haniel was saying. If I open my mind to yours, and you try to deceive me, I will kill you, the pack leader warned. If I open my mind to yours, and you see the truth, will you listen? Yes. The two Vorthok approached each other. The pack leader was larger and more intimidating, but Haniel showed no fear. When they were close enough to touch, they placed their hands on each other's heads. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the pack leader's eyes began to change. The angry red glow faded, replaced by the same deep blue that Haniel had. The pack leader stepped back, his entire body trembling. I remember, he whispered. What do you remember? Haniel asked gently. We were guardians, protected the innocent. We were noble. Tears began flowing down the pack leader's face. What have we become? You became what the darkness made you, but the darkness can be removed. How the same way it was removed from me, with love, with patience, people who refused to give up on you. The pack leader looked at the humans who had raised Haniel. These small ones did this. They saved me when my own people abandoned me. They loved me when the galaxy feared me. They taught me that strength should protect, not destroy, and they would do this for others. Ask them yourself. The pack leader approached Tae-woo, who stood his ground despite his fear. Small one, the pack leader said. You raised one of us as your own? Yes, Tae-woo replied. Why? Because he needed help. Because he was just a baby. Because it was the right thing to do. You were not afraid? I was terrified. but I couldn't walk away from a child in need. The pack leader looked back at his pack members. They show us what we have forgotten: compassion, love, the willingness to help those who need it. But we are monsters, one of the pack members said. We were made into monsters, the pack leader corrected. But perhaps we can learn to be guardians again. Will you try? Hanyul asked. The pack leader looked at him for a long moment. Yes, we will try. And for the first time in centuries, a Vorthok pack chose healing over hunting. 3 weeks had passed since the Vorthok pack decided to stay at the colony. The pack leader, who had chosen the name Daeon, meaning great peace, worked alongside Hanyul to help his pack members remember their true nature. But not everyone was happy about this development. Security Chief Bae Soo-min watched nervously as 6 massive Ustok moved around the colony. Even though they were trying to be helpful, their presence was intimidating. They're too big, he complained to Captain Lee Do-hai. They keep breaking things just by walking around. They're learning, the captain replied. Give them time. Time is something we might not have, Communications Officer Yoon Ja-sung said, entering the room with a worried expression, getting reports from across the galaxy. Other species are mobilizing their fleets. Against us? Captain Lee asked. Against the Vorthok. But since the Vorthok are here with us, we're targets too, Soo-min finished. How many ships are coming? Captain Lee asked. The Zenthari have a full battle fleet moving this way. The Makari Federation is sending everything they have. The Crystalline Collective has joined the alliance. An alliance against us? An alliance to destroy every Vorthok in the galaxy, including Hanyul and his pack? Outside, Dr. Kim Tae-woo was working with 2 of the pack members, teaching them basic repair techniques. The Vorthok named Jihan was carefully trying to fix a broken mining robot, his massive claws struggling with the delicate work. Gentle, Tae-woo instructed. Remember, you want to fix it, not break it more. It's so small, Jihan rumbled. Hands too big. Your hands are perfect for protecting small things. You just need practice being gentle. Hanyul approached them, his expression serious. Tae-woo, we have problem. What kind of problem? My pack. They still struggling. Half want to be guardians like old days. Half still feel the darkness calling. Them, that's normal, isn't it? Change takes time? Yes, but Hanyul looked around to make sure no one else was listening. Some of pack thinking may be easier to go back to old ways. Being guardian is hard work. Being hunter is easier. But being a hunter means hurting innocent people. I know, you know. But they not understand yet what innocent means. Tae-woo felt a chill of worry. What can we do? Not sure. Daeon trying to keep pack together, but he, old and tired. Some of younger ones not listen to him anymore. As if summoned by their conversation, one of the younger Vorthok approached them. His name was Minyuk, and unlike the others, he had not chosen a peaceful name. His eyes still held traces of the red glow that marked corrupted Vorthok. Human, Minyuk said, his voice filled with barely controlled aggression. Why you keep us here? We're not keeping you here, Tae-woo replied carefully. You're free to leave whenever you want, but you want us to stay. You want us to be like him. He pointed at Hanyul with contempt. Weak, soft. I want you to be happy, Tae-woo said. I want you to choose your own path. My path is hunting, my path is strength, not this. It's pretending to be something we not. Hanyul stepped protectively. In front of Tae-woo, brother, you speak from darkness. That not really you talking? This is me, Minyuk snarled. This is what we are. Apex predators. It's not nursemaids for weak species. We are whatever we choose to be. You choose to be weak. I choose to be strong. Strength can protect others. That's stronger than hurting others? Minyuk laughed, a harsh sound. You sound like the humans. They made you soft. They made me whole. They made you forget what you are. The argument was interrupted by alarms blaring throughout the colony. Captain Lee's voice came over the speakers. All personnel to emergency stations. We have multiple fleets approaching. Estimated arrival in 4 hours. Minuk's eyes lit up with anticipation. Finally, a real fight. This not fight we can win. Haniel said. Too many ships. Then we die as warriors should, or we find another way. What other way? You want to surrender? Let them kill us like animals. I want to show them we different. We are not different. We are Vorthok. Dawn approached the group, having heard the raised voices. What is problem here? Young brother still thinks like Hunter, Haniel explained. An old brother thinks like Pet, Minyuk shot back. Daon's expression grew sad. Minyuk, I understand your anger. I felt it too for many years. Then why you abandon it? 'Cause anger brought only pain, only emptiness. When I touched Haniel's mind, I remembered what it felt like to have purpose beyond killing. Killing is purpose. Killing is easy. Protecting is hard. Which takes more strength? Minyuk had no answer for that. Captain Lee approached the group with several human officers. We need to talk. All of you. They gathered in the main conference room. Though the space was cramped with so many large Vorthok present, the situation is serious, Captain Lee began. We have over 50 warships heading our way. Their mission is simple: destroy every Vorthok they find. They not distinguish between us and corrupted ones? Daon asked. No, to them all Vorthok are the same. But we trying to change, protested Jihan. They don't know that. And honestly, some of them probably wouldn't care. So what are our options? Taewoo asked. Limited. We can try to evacuate the colony, but they'll probably follow us wherever we go. What about fighting? Minyuk asked eagerly. 7 Vorthok against 50 warships? That's suicide. Better than running. There might be a third option, Haniel said quietly. What? Captain Lee asked. We surrender ourselves. Let them take us. Colony stays safe. No, Taewoo said firmly. We're not sacrificing you. Why not? You caused this problem. You didn't cause anything. Fear caused this, same result. We're not giving up, Captain Lee declared. We'll find another way. What if there is no other way? Daon asked. Then we make one. Minyuk stood up abruptly. I tired of this talk. I go meet enemy ships. Die fighting like Vorthok should. Sit down, Daon ordered. You not my pack leader anymore, old one? You weak now? Do you forget what it means to be strong? I remember what it means to be wise. Wisdom is for prey animals. Haniel stood up. All 13 feet of him. Brother, if you leave here to fight, you prove their point. You prove that Vorthok cannot change. Maybe we cannot change. Maybe we should not change. Then all my life here was meaningless. All the love these humans showed me was wasted. Minyuk hesitated. Your life different. You raised by them. You could be raised by them too if you choose. I too old to be raised. Never too old to learn new way. Minyuk looked around the room at the humans who had accepted his pact despite their fear. At Haniel, who had shown them a different path. At Daon, who had chosen peace over violence. What do you want me to do? Choose. Haniel said simply. Choose who you want to be. Minyuk was quiet for a long moment. Outside they could see the first enemy ships appearing in the sky. I choose ... He began, then stopped. Yes, Taewoo encouraged. I choose to trust you. All of you. If you say there is another way, I try to believe. That's all we ask, Captain Lee said. But if there is no other way, Minyuk continued, I fight to protect colony. Not to destroy, but to protect. That's what Guardians do, Haniel said with pride. Outside, more ships appeared. The final confrontation was about to begin, but for the first time, all the Vorthok were united in purpose, not to conquer or destroy, but to protect the humans who had shown them compassion. The choice had been made. 1 year later, the Great Hall of the Galactic Peace Station buzzed with nervous energy. Representatives from dozens of species had gathered for the first interspecies summit in over a century. Dr. Kim Taewoo adjusted his formal diplomatic robes. As he prepared to address the assembly, behind him stood Haniel, now fully grown and wearing a specially designed translator that would carry his words to every species present. The same beings who had once demanded Haniel's destruction now looked to him and his pack for protection. It was a transformation that still amazed Taewoo. 1 year ago, Taewoo began, his voice echoing through the hall. This assembly demanded that we destroy a Vorthok cub. You called us dangerous. You called us insane. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Many of the representatives looked uncomfortable. We're partly right, Taewoo continued. What we did was dangerous, but it was the right kind of dangerous. On the viewing screen behind him, images appeared showing the events of the past year. The Allied fleet arriving at the colony. Standoff. The moment when Haniel and his pack stepped forward, not to fight, but to talk. When 50 warships surrounded our colony, we had a choice, fight or surrender. But Haniel and his pack chose a third option. They chose to show you who they really were. The images showed the incredible moment when Daeon had opened his mind. To the Allied fleet commanders. For the first time in centuries, other species had experienced Vorthok thoughts without fear or anger. What they found, Taewoo said, was not the minds of monsters, but the minds of people who had been trapped in darkness for so long they had forgotten what light looked like. Zenthari Ambassador Kelvak stood up. Dr. Taewoo, many of us remain skeptical. How do we know this change is permanent? Because, Haniel said, stepping forward, you have seen the proof. The great hall fell silent as Haniel spoke. His voice was deep and calm, carrying easily to every corner of the room. 6 months ago, the Corlin system was attacked by the Devourers. Your fleets could not stop them. They were too far away. Images appeared showing the horrible, insectoid aliens that had terrorized the galaxy's edge worlds. The Devourers consumed everything in their path, leaving dead worlds behind. But we were close, Haniel continued. My pack and I arrived at Corlon 3 while the attack was still happening. The next images showed something unprecedented. Vorthok ships engaging the Devourers not in conquest but in rescue operations. The massive forms of Haniel and his pack fighting to protect civilian evacuation ships. We saved 4 million lives that day, Haniel said simply. Not because we had to, not because someone ordered us to, but because it was the right thing to do. And since then, asked Makari Counselor Zenth. Since then, my pack has answered. 17 distress calls. We have stopped 6 pirate raids. We have rescued crews from 14 disabled ships. We have delivered emergency supplies to 5 colonies. All without asking for payment, Taewoo added. All without demanding territory or tribute. But why? Asked Crystalline Collective Speaker Prism 9. What do you gain from this behavior? Haniel's expression softened. We gain what we lost long ago. Purpose, honor, the knowledge that we are using our strength to make the galaxy safer instead of more dangerous. Daeon stepped forward. For too many years, we were slaves to anger and darkness. We forgot that true strength comes from protecting the weak, not destroying them. And you believe all Vorthok can change? Ambassador Kelvak asked. We are proof that they can, said Minyuk, who now bore the peaceful name Junho, meaning righteous. If ones as lost as we were can find their way back to the light, then any can. But what about the corrupted packs still out there? Counselor Zenth asked. They continue to terrorize space routes. We are working on that, Haniel replied. 4 more packs have joined us in the past month. Each one we heal makes the next one easier to reach, and the humans continue to help with this process. Speaker Prism 9 asked. The humans, Daeon said, have become our teachers and our guides. They show us daily what it means to choose compassion over fear. Engineer Park Minho, now serving as the head of the Human Vorthok Integration Program, stood up. It hasn't been easy. There have been setbacks. Some pack members still struggle with their old instincts, but you persist? Damn, Ambassador Kelvak. Asked we persist, Minho confirmed. Because we've seen what's possible when you don't give up on someone. Captain Lee Daehai, now promoted to Admiral and head of the Joint Fleet Operations, addressed the assembly. The alliance between humans and reformed Vorthok has created something new in the galaxy. A force for protection instead of conquest. Our ships now patrol together, added Communications Officer Yoon Jae-soon, now serving as a diplomatic liaison. Human crews provide guidance and support, while Vorthok provide protection and strength. The combination, Taewoo said, has proven remarkably effective. The viewing screen showed images of joint human Vorthok vessels. sleek ships designed for both rescue operations and defense, crewed by both species working in harmony. These ships, Admiral Lee explained, have become symbols of hope across the galaxy. When people see them arriving, they know help has come. But perhaps most importantly, Tae-woo said, we have established the first Vorthok nurseries in known history. New images appeared, showing something that would have been unthinkable a year earlier. Young Vorthok cubs being cared for in specially designed facilities, human caregivers working alongside reformed adult Vorthok. These cubs are being raised with love and guidance from birth. Dr. Song Haerin explained, now serving as the head of Vorthok Child Development. They are learning that their strength is meant to protect, not destroy. Early results are extremely promising, added Dr. Lim Hae-woo. Cubs raised in this environment show no signs of the corruption that affected previous generations. Many cubs are currently in these programs? Speaker Prism 9 asked. 47 Haerin replied. With more arriving every month, as reformed packs bring their young to us, Haniel moved to a place where everyone could see him clearly. I was the first, abandoned by my own people, left to die by every species that found me. Only the humans chose to save me. And now? Ambassador Kelvak asked. Now I am the bridge between what my people were and what they can become. Every cub we save, every pack we heal, every life we protect proves that change is possible. The transformation, Tae-woo said, began with one human crew's decision. To save an abandoned child continues with the choice to believe that anyone can change if given love and guidance. What is your proposal for this assembly? Counselor Zenth asked. Formal recognition of the reformed Vorthok as protectors of the galaxy, Admiral Lee said. Integration of joint human Vorthok fleets into galactic defense systems. An expansion of the nursery program to ensure future generations of Vorthok grow up as guardians, not predators. You ask us to trust our former greatest enemies, Ambassador Kelvek said. We ask you to trust what you have seen with your own eyes, Tae-woo replied. We ask you to choose hope over fear. The vote was close, but it passed. The galaxy had officially chosen to embrace the possibility of redemption. Later, as the various representatives filed out of the hall, Tae-woo found himself standing with Han-yul on the observation deck, looking out at the stars. Do you think we did the right thing? Will asked. I think, Tae-woo replied, that we proved something important today. What is that? That sometimes the greatest act of courage is showing compassion to someone everyone else has given up on. Han-yul was quiet for a moment. The galaxy still has much healing to do. Yes, but today we showed that healing is possible because humans chose to save one lost cub. Because humans chose to see potential instead of just danger. Because we chose love over fear. Outside the viewing port, ships from a dozen species flew in formation with the distinctive human Vorthok vessels. The sight would have been impossible. To imagine just 1 year earlier what happens next. Haniel asked. Next, we continue the work. We save more cubs. We heal more packs. We show the galaxy that change is always possible. If some people still refuse to believe, then we prove it to them. One rescue at a time. One life saved at a time. One choice to do better at a time. Haniel smiled, an expression that looked strange on his massive face, but felt completely natural to Tae-woo. I am glad you found me in that wreckage. I'm glad we chose to save you, not just save me. You chose to love me. That's what families do. And as the stars shone down on the greatest alliance the galaxy had ever seen, Tae-woo knew that sometimes the smallest acts of compassion could change the entire universe. The galaxy's most feared predators had become its greatest protectors, and it all started with one human's refusal to abandon a child in need.